The Clippers clip down Denver. They claw back and win after they gave a game away in game one. As we said, the Clippers, really Nuggets should be down 0-2. They're lucky to be 1-1 at this point as the Clippers win 105-102 as Christian Brown went to Browntown at the end of the game. He had the chance to be the hero. Well, kind of the hero. He would have tied the game. 3-point shot. How'd that go? It looked like Russell Westbrook shooting the shot there. West brick. Christian Braun bricking the 3-point shot with 6 seconds left. And then Nikola Jokic had another opportunity, and he did have a triple-double, but he shot a flatliner, a clanker, with 1 second remaining, and that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Jokic, despite having the gaudy stats, the 26 points, the 12 rebounds, the 10 assists, and it was not enough. So the series now 1-1. They head back to the hood in Inglewood. Clippers and Nuggets will play Game 3 on Thursday. The better story is in the losing locker room. That has always been the mantra. That is where the story is. So we will go to where the story is. A Denver debacle. We're going to call this one a Denver debacle as we discuss. So who gets to wear this? Is the question. Here's the question. Who gets to wear the shame bell for the Nuggets, the Nikola Jokic Nuggets, losing at home? That altitude. Nobody goes to Denver and wins a playoff game. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. They lost at home, the Nuggets. Championship pedigree. Okay, so let's break this down. I've got Bear Jamboree, Terminator, and Creamery. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a big board is what we're going to make. Big Ben's big board. We're not going to do the big board right now. No. No Big Ben's big board right now. We'll save that. So, who gets to wear the shame bell for the Nikola Jokic Denver Nuggets losing at home in the playoffs here in game number 2? So, looking around the locker room, we will start with this here. Obviously, plenty of blame to go around the room. Now, as we explained in the previous episode of the show, I know you listen, you document everything, and you take little notes. It's a tough day for the trolls. I know. You got to go into hiding. Hang in there, trolls. You'll have your day again, trolls, but not right now. So, in a previous episode, we pointed out, with our immense basketball knowledge, the Nuggets did not deserve to win Game 1. The Clippers gave that game away. And that proved to be accurate analysis on these airwaves, the powerful microphones of Fox Sports Radio, the self-inflicted wounds by the Clippers. You clean that up, you win the game. They cleaned it up, they won the game. It's not that difficult. This is not that hard. All right, so the Nuggets, who were gifted one game, they got that, fine. They didn't get gifted this game, and they end up losing it. The Clippers played a relatively clean game in terms of the turnovers, so same old song and dance. With all these playoff matchups, you spend a lot of time analyzing things. You talk about the matchups. You talk about the coaching. The film. Film doesn't matter. The matchups don't matter. Home court advantage doesn't matter. Injuries don't matter. None of it matters. All that matters is who does better in the moment. In that moment in time, who does better? And Denver, despite having championship pedigree, they crumbled at home. How embarrassing! How embarrassing for the Nuggets. They lose at home. They blew it. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic by the Nuggets. How about Michael Porter Jr. bricking a hammer dunk out of bounds late in the game? Who goofed? I've got to know. That was embarrassing. We mentioned Christian Brown missing the three-point shot that would have tied the game. Jokic throwing up a terribly flat shot also in clutch time. However, I'm not going to give them the shame bell. No. Because if you saw the game, you know exactly who gets the shame bell. And that is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray gets to wear the shame bell. Now, why does Jamal Murray get to wear the shame bell? He had good stats, Ben. I'm a box score reader. I read the stats. He had good stats. Okay, you're also an idiot. You're a moron. You didn't watch the game. The reason Jamal Murray gets to wear the shame bell, because of the Bear Jamboree. In this case, he woke up the hibernating bear. He did with 5:18 to go in the third quarter. Just a random moment, which would have been forgotten in time if Jamal Murray had not picked up Norman Powell. Picked him up. Murray's playing defense, picked up Powell in a playground move while he was attempting to play some kind of defense. I don't know, maybe that works. Seemingly doesn't work in the NBA. Maybe it works in the playground. Anyway, Murray, by doing that, which seemed rather benign at the time, there was a little bit of finger pointing and shouting and fake machismo that took place on the court at that time. But if you notice, and I noticed the nuance, that woke up the hibernating bear. You don't wake up the hibernating bear. And that Jamal Murray did it. He did it! Jamal Murray woke up the hibernating bear. And it wasn't just Norman Powell. It's the whole Clipper team. Now, to back that up, my supporting evidence on this. With that point on the clock, 5:18 to go in the third quarter, up until that point, Norman Powell was shooting 22.2% from the floor. It was an abomination situation. He was riding the vomit comet, Norman Powell. He was bad to the bone is what he was, bad to the bone. He only had 6 points at that moment, but 22% shooting. So after Jamal Murray decided he was a professional wrestler and picked up Norman Powell in a punk move, Norman Powell responded like you have to do. The rest of the game, Powell shot 60%. He had more points from that point forward than he did up until that point. And the Clippers as a team shot 50% from the floor the rest of the game. So congratulations to Jamal Murray. You get the shame bell for the Nuggets. You woke the Clipper, Norman Powell up, woke him up. You woke several other players up. Good job by you. All right, now, let's get now to the winning side of things. And, oh, what a marvelous night it was for one player in particular. How would you describe Kawhi Leonard and his performance for the Clippers? So my word on Kawhi Leonard's performance, I'm going to use the R word, retro. That was a retro Kawhi Leonard performance, something that the People's team has not seen much of, if at all, in big games. That has not been the Kawhi Leonard that has made the appearances in the Clipper laundry. It's also a tease. It is another R word, reminder of what should have been, what could have been, but hasn't up until this point. It's also a reminder that if Kawhi Leonard plays like this and he plays like that, no one's beating the Clippers. They're winning the championship this year. Sorry, haters. And if that happens, oh, man, he erases everything. One Clipper championship trumps every other Laker championship, for example, and every Celtic championship. Hardest championship to win with the Clippers. So if Kawhi can keep doing this, then watch out. But for the moment, it's one night, and it was a retro performance by Kawhi Leonard. It was great. And instead of being a bad man, he was a bad man. There's a difference between, oh, man, you're a bad man, to bad man. There's a much bigger difference between, oh, man, he's a bad man, to bad man. He was a bad man. He was. And that was the guy the Clippers thought they were going to get every night or most nights from Toronto when he came over. That was a version of what he was at one point with the San Antonio Spurs back in the day. And that showed up. And Denver had no chance to stop him. They were completely helpless. They were running in circles. It was like Mike the Headless Chicken trying to stop Kawhi Leonard on defense. It was embarrassing. It was like an older brother playing with a younger brother. It was an uncle versus a nephew. No chance. Absolute chance. And mostly the Clippers have seen a rip-off version of Kawhi, but that was a renaissance. That was a renaissance-like performance there. Stylish, old school Kawhi Leonard. Terminator-like. He was Terminator-like, as not only was he half man, he appeared robotic, half machine out there on the court. Automatica for Kawhi Leonard. Did not take the volume of shots. The efficiency was insane. Cold-blooded, sniper-like for Kawhi Leonard. Now, the last word here, as we move around, how much trouble after 2 games are the Nuggets in at this point as the series heads back to Southern California for game number 3. So it's not looking good. And you know it. If you know ball, you know it's not looking good for the team from Colorado at this particular point. It is a creamery situation. They talk about the Rocky Mountains in Denver, but this is a different Rocky Road at the Creamery is what this is for the Nuggets, because you go to L.A., actually Inglewood, and we all know the story in the playoffs. Generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, role players perform better at home. So the Nuggets are running literally into the wall, which is at the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play. The Clippers have never lost a home playoff game in that building. They have never lost a home playoff game at the Intuit Dome, ever. Good luck. Good luck. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So that means guys that, for the most part, Norman Powell played well at the end of this game, but he was mostly a stiff beginning of the game. And at the most of game 1, Bogdanovich is terrible. Should play better at home. And even that turdburger Ben Simmons will likely have some moments on the home court. So all those cats go down the list there. And the Nuggets, without the gift, they got the gift in game 1, the Easter gift. And so then they got to go back, Easter weekend gift, and then they go back and the Clippers set the record straight.